Good evening. Welcome. So glad you're here. If it looks like I'm in my car, it's because I am. I am up in Georgia visiting my uncle, who has really been more like a best friend to me most of my life, and he's dealing with several health challenges really at this time. He's been dealing with Parkinson's and with kidney failure for a few years now, actually. And so now on top of that, he's dealing with pneumonia, which at his age and with those other ailments can be a very serious thing. So I had a chance to drive up today from St. Pete, and have been at the hospital with him this afternoon. Broke away for a few minutes to spend some time with all of you here on our Midweek Connection. So welcome to Midweek Connection. It's interesting for me right now because tonight's subject, I think, is perfect for me personally because of what I'm working with at the moment with my uncle. And some of you may have seen Bishop Carlton Pearson's post last night, or his live stream last night, where he shared with us all that he is going through some very complicated and serious health challenges right now too. And that was something that I've known about for a couple of weeks, but I've had to really kind of hold it close because he really wanted to share in his own way and in his own time. And so I would be lying if I said to you my heart is not a bit heavy tonight. It has been for the last couple of weeks. But I'm holding on, as they say, yet holding on, but very tender today, especially. And there's a lot happening. A shift is happening. The shift is hitting the fan. We are not in trouble, we're in transition. Sometimes the transition can feel troubling. But trouble doesn't last always, and we need to remember that. So this evening we're going to get into some of Eckhart Tolle's book, Stillness Speaks, and I need this as much as any of you might this evening. So we're going to touch on a few things, but before we do that, I'm going to invite us. I'm in my car, and wherever you may be, I'm going to invite us into the present moment. Maybe gently close your eyes. You come into this space with a heart of thanksgiving, a heart of love, gratitude. Love is who I am, gratitude is my attitude, abundance is my nature, and well-being is my birthright. Spirit of truth, take everything from me that I don't need, bring to me anything I do. My whole being is surrendered. My intellect, my beliefs, my ideas about how things should be, it's all surrendered. I know that all things in some way are working together for the highest and most loving good. And for that I'm very, very grateful. So I'll invite you all to receive a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe in. And a nice exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. And I say thank you. Thank you, pure presence. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Great One, pure consciousness, the oneness without label. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And so it is. All right, let's get into this. I don't know how long I'll hold you this evening, but I do believe that this is a great subject, and I'm going to read a little bit and then just kind of share from my heart a few things that come to mind. Eckhart says, when you make friends with the present moment, you feel at home no matter where you are. Opening line is a wow moment. When you make friends with the present moment, you feel at home, no matter where you are. Jason Mraz, really one of my favorite artists at the moment, has a song titled Living in the Moment. And there's a line in the middle of each chorus: wherever I'm going, I'm already home. Actually, it's at the end of each chorus. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home by living in the moment. This is something that we have talked about so much. We've talked about the now, the eternal now, and how there's no future and there's no past. If you feel a sense of regret, you're living in the past, in a past moment. If you feel a sense of anxiety or fear, you're living in a future moment. Nothing to do with life happens anywhere but in the now. But so many of us, it seems like, are living for other moments instead of truly living in the present moment. Now, all of you know that I read the Bhagavad Gita, I read the Torah, the Talmud, the Quran, the Bible, the Sutras, the Vedas. I read and draw a lot from different traditions. The Bible tradition has been the biggest influence on me because I was raised in Western Christianity. And Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 says, it's the opening of this particular part of the letter that most scholars believe was written by Paul. He writes and says, now faith is. Right now, faith is. In the present moment is faith. Right here and right now. So Eckhart says, when you don't feel at home in the now, no matter where you go, you're going to carry a sense of unease. And I would say you would carry around with you dis-ease. And the word dis-ease just means disconnection from your ease. And you'll carry that around with you when you are not feeling at home in the now present. And he says this, the present moment is as it is, always. Can you let it be? I'm asking myself the same question this evening. Can you let it be? John, are you able to be with these two very much loved individuals through their process of dis-ease, discouragement, sickness, illness in the physical body? Are you able to be in this present moment and just be without fear of whatever may be the end of the dis-ease or the health challenge that they're facing? Are you able to simply be with the moment instead of being anxious about what might or might not happen, or running back over your life with these two people and asking yourself or saying to yourself, man, if I had have just done this, or I should have done this, or I would have. Shoulda, coulda, woulda are always past moment situations and words, and none of those are real. None of them have any kind of real life in them. But yet, it seems that we as human beings tend to do a whole lot of shoulda, coulda, and woulda. But a shoulda, coulda, and a woulda didn't happen. That's why I say to people about living in the present moment and about your past, no matter how much you feel guilty about your past, no amount of guilt can change what happened and make what happened something different. No amount of guilt. It's okay for us to be able to apologize to people who remember something that maybe was done to them, but remember, sometimes things in our life were dismembered on purpose. And every time we remember it, we essentially put it back together. It was dismembered or dismantled, and we have the tendency as human beings to remember it or to connect the dots again. How many times will we go down that same pathway, especially a pathway of pain? How many times will we go there until we get to the place where we are able to let go of any guilt associated with it? Because, again, no matter how guilty you feel about whatever transpired, you will not change what happened in those past moments. You literally can only affect your present moment and or infect your present moment. If you inject the past into your present moment, you will infect your present moment with disease and with a lack of comfort. And it will cause tension and stress. I love this. He goes on to write, the division of life into past, present, and future is mind-made, and ultimately it's an illusion. Past and future are thought forms, mental abstractions. The past can only be remembered now. What you remember is an event that took place in the now, and you remember it now. The future, when it comes, is now. So the only thing that is real, that actually exists, the only thing that there ever is the now. To have your attention in the now is not a denial of what is needed in your life. Because this is what people will say. Okay, what if I live in the now? What about bills I need to pay? What about relationships I need to cultivate? Well, here's a good answer to that. To have your attention in the now is not a denial of what is needed in your life. It is recognizing what is primary in your life. Then you can deal with what is secondary with greater ease. It is not saying I'm not dealing with things anymore because there is only the now. No. Find what is primary first and make the now into your friend, not your enemy. Acknowledge it. Honor it. When the now is the foundation and primary focus of your life, then your life unfolds with ease. Putting away the dishes, drawing up a business strategy, planning a trip, what is more important? The doing or the result of what? Okay, let me go back. What is more important? The doing or the result that you want to achieve through the doing? This moment or some future moment? Do you treat this moment as if it were an obstacle to overcome? Do you feel you have a future moment to get to that's more important than the present moment? Almost everyone lives like this most of the time. Since the future never arrives except as the present, it is a dysfunctional way to live. It generates a constant undercurrent of unease, tension, and discontent. And I would say dis-ease, disconnected from ease. It does not honor life, which is now, and never not now. Feel the aliveness within your body, and that anchors you in the now. In fact, I'll ask you to do an exercise real quick. Maybe just close your eyes and listen to the sounds around you. How does your body feel? What do you hear? What do you smell? What about the taste in your mouth? Even with your eyes closed, are you able to see the glow of light? Your senses are in this present moment. Feel the aliveness of your body. Maybe tap into the beating of your own heart. Maybe place a thumb on your wrist and see if you can feel the pulse. That's what it is to be in the present moment. To be present here, now. Feel the aliveness. This anchors you into the now. He goes on to say, ultimately, you're not taking responsibility for life until you take responsibility for this very moment. Now. This is because now is the only place where life can be found. Life cannot be found in the past. Life cannot be found in the future because it doesn't exist. Life can only be found in the now. Taking responsibility for this moment means not to oppose internally the suchness of now, not to argue with what is. It means to be in alignment with life. The now is as it is because it cannot be otherwise. This is what Buddhists have always known. Physicists now confirm. There is no isolated things or events. Underneath the surface appearance, all things are interconnected, are part of the totality of the cosmos, and has brought about the form that is this moment, and that this moment takes. When you say yes to what is, you become aligned with the power and intelligence of life itself. Only then can you become an agent of positive change in the world. A simple but radical practice is to accept whatever arises in the now, within and without. When you say yes to what is, you become aligned with the power and the intelligence of life itself. So I'm asking us this evening to practice living in the now. Instead of using this moment or each moment that comes or viewing it as an obstacle, something to be gotten past, instead of that, choose to live in the present moment, fully awake, fully aware, fully alert, living in the now, remembering that now faith is. Now, right now, in this present moment. And this is what I'm endeavoring to do over these next several weeks and months that don't exist yet, is to live every moment fully without allowing too much of the anxiety of what might happen in the future or guilt from the past. Really, in so many ways, I've actually conquered more the guilt of the past part. I've been able to practice. It's interesting because my practice for me personally about being in the present moment is much, I've come closer to mastering the guilty feelings about the past. I'm still working on this whole future thing. I'm still working on the past a little bit too, but not near as much as the future thing. Because, we consistently think in those terms. We've been taught to think in linear time. And so, concerns about children. My children are 23, 21, 15, almost 16. Alyssa's almost 16. She'll be driving. But that's in a future moment. And Gavin is 14, almost 15 in January. And then Rhett just turned 10, and I think about their lives and their future. And it doesn't exist. So I'm working with those processes of understanding that and really practicing living in the present moment. One of the ways we do it is through meditation and through contemplation. Contemplating not what's happening in the future, but what's at the present going on. And again, one of the great ways to do it is to be with the breath. That's why we're taught to be with the breath, because every breath is in a present moment. Every breath. And so it is. All right, y'all. I want to say thank you for allowing me to come to you in my car this evening. And I hope something that we shared benefits you. I ask you to send some prayers my family's way. Send some prayers toward my Uncle Henry. And my dad, I call him my spiritual father, Bishop Carlton Pearson. He was going to be with us at the end of this month. Due to the health challenges, he will not be able to be with us. But my brother, who is another one of Carlton's sons, is going to be with us at the end of the month. And I'm excited about that. He's going to be pinch hitting for Dad, so for Daddy Carlton. But keep Carlton and Julian and Madge and Gina, their family, in your prayers. I love you all very much. Okay, I'm going to get up out of here. There's no music to get started this evening, so I'm just going to roll up out of here and tell you all thank you so much for being here. I love you. Now go and make it a great evening, simply because you can. Peace.